Hello and welcome back to Kika's Clips. I'm your fellow artist friend Kika, and today we will be drawing Ennui together in Procreate. Or as Joy said, VB. It's a fun name. I will be using screen size canvas, so you can use a screen size or any other size canvas you'd like, but just make sure it has a lot of layers for the part 2 of the illustration. But for a sketch, we'll just be using one layer. Ennui, if you have a reference photo, this is like a blue purple. So if you select this color anywhere, it's in here, it's not over there. You can make it more purple if you'd like, that's totally awesome. And the face, same idea, it's like a gray blue purple. So if you'd like to find the same color, bring your hue color picker in here, and then anywhere there works as well. So I'm gonna go with that bluey purpley gray. It does look more purple. I will be using in the sketching folder 6B pencil. Any of these work. Let's get started. So Ennui is pretty much a noodle shape. Head comes down to the body, and then you got the knees. It's very flowy. Even here, this whole edge, it almost looks like one line to the end of the sweater. So let's start with that. Oh, for the head. And the head is almost like a teardrop. If you can see that, meets at the mouth and then the neck. So that's what I'm gonna go for. Teardrop for our head. Not too wide. Very long nose. So we're just focusing on the shape, not on body parts, since it is very noodle-like. This is very long. And then it pretty much just comes down straight. Just sketching that out. So the arm will be somewhere in there. My head looks a little bit wide, so I want a little bit longer. So I will do that and a little bit thinner. Making sure I have the same eraser. I'm just erasing some of this. And we want to make sure our knees match our nose. If you look at that, they pretty much line up. That's going to be our guide. Straight line, nose in the middle of the head, lines up with the knees. And since this is only a sketch, it'll be easy to adjust. And the head, here it's smooth, but up here it comes in. So we want to do the same. We want to bring that in to where the mouth is. And look at that neck. That is a very, very tiny, tiny neck, like this tiny. So we want to also show that. And this is where the sweater starts. So I'm just gonna clean this up. And of course, if you're using pencil and paper, lightly, so it's easier to erase, make any adjustments before we color in and sketch. Okay, I'm gonna continue with that straight line. I'm gonna just draw a circle here to map out, that's where my sweater will be. Kind of comes in. I will zoom in and erase a little bit of this. Because Ennui is so noodle-like, instead of drawing in these simple shapes, sometimes it's easier to add shapes as you go. So my nose, my hair is about, eraser, there we go. About here. So my eyes will be about here. Right? That line. They're very wide eyes. They're very large. And then my nose comes in like so. And it's not a perfectly straight line, it's ever so slightly curved because this is an eyelid. And you want your eyes big enough so that you can easily draw the eye in the center. But again, it's half an eye. And those pupils, half a pupil. I can make that a little bit smaller. Same idea. Half an eye, half a pupil, and bring in that eye a bit more. So my nose comes down, and this will help us map out where our knees will be, right? Because our knees have to come out to meet the nose. So our nose, oh, using the eraser, there we go. Comes to a long point, about there. I think that's a little too, that's a little too long. So we mapped out our nose. Very triangular nose. But the bottom part of the nose is very straight, doesn't curve out. So make sure you follow that design. So now I know my hair is flattened in the middle a bit. Right? And then it comes out a bit because it's hanging. This is a bit, curve. So I'm just gonna erase all this. Where the ear would be, we have hair laying on that face, and it meets the top of the bangs. So it comes out like so. Our mouth, where the curve starts about here. Looking great. We got our nose. Our nose still looks kind of thin. I'm gonna bring it out a bit. Okay, that looks better. My hair comes between the mouth and that nose. It's falling off to the side. And it pretty much meets up with just above the bottom of the sweater. So I'll figure that out, the length, in a minute. So far we're doing awesome. So I got my nose. Nose is pointing a little bit down on an angle. I just realized I drew mine very straight. So I'm just gonna take adjust that. Sometimes the slightest change, the slightest angle will drastically change the look of your drawing. So just remember that. Sketch, add, and take away with the eraser. So we have our nose to our knees, so about here. So this body is very exaggerated, which is what we're going for. So my knees, my sweater, drawing in that line. It curves in a little bit, as you can see here. Goes straight down, and then curves out. Straight down, that noodle, body, and then curving it out. The bottom of my sweater, just make a slight line right there. The cuff of the sweater, right? And then the knees keep going. So this is the trick where you need to map a little bit and adjust. You might have to bring the sweater up a little bit because our knees come out here, like so, and then bend down. And then our ankles are where our sweater ends, so our ankles should be around here. And then those socks. With Ennui, that's how we need to map it out. So we got our knee down, and then bring it in. And this ankle is pretty much at the phone and the wrist, where our wrist would be somewhere around here. Shoulder, it's about here. That's where the cuff would be, and our second foot. Make sense? So let's continue. We'll adjust the sock in a moment. Let's make that like so. There we go. We only have one arm. Perfect. So the arm will come down. I'm not making it a perfectly straight line because the sweater has some curve to it. The cuff of the arm is lower than the cuff of the sweater. So here's my cuff of my sweater. I need the cuff of the arm right here. A little bit lower. On an angle. Flares out at the end. It's a nice, comfy, awesome looking sweater. And the hand will be here. So let's just draw in the bottom of the pant leg. We don't want to add too much bagginess, but just enough. And then this will be the hand on the phone. And our knee is not too pointy, it's very curved. So again, make it smooth. Nice. Now we have the hair. We can add in the hair. Here's the bottom of our sweater. Our hair is about a finger width higher than that. So about here. Yeah. Draw on the hair. It's shorter here. It looks very voluminous. Looks like it has a lot of volume. Just holding my pencil up to the side to make it a little bit thicker. To get that sketch. A little bit shading. Press very lightly. Very, very lightly, because you don't want it to go too dark. And then Same idea, just very lightly shading a little bit. If you'll be like coloring this in with markers or pencil crayons, then you do not want to shade any of that in because you'll be using your pencil crayons. If you're going to be finishing this illustration off with Procreate, go ahead, color that in because we'll just add a new layer. Beautiful. Looking awesome. Let's finish off with the hand. So the hand comes out straight with that sweater. Those cuffs are nice and tight. And they're straight, they don't flare the cuffs. So there's our hand. I will draw on the cell phone. That is a very large cell phone. I mean, Ennui does use it as a controller instead of coming up to the console in the movie. You can adjust the size of the phone as we go, once we draw in the hand. Extra large phone. We don't see the thumb, it's on the other side. Here is our pinky. And our finger. It comes past this phone. Pointer finger. I'm just going to erase part of the phone. And take your time with the hand. Hands are always a tad tricky to draw. My pinky's too tiny. One, two, three, four, five. Beautiful. And you can see a little bit of a knuckle here, so I'm just going to adjust that. But this knuckle is very smooth. Now this finger's a little too big, so I'm just going to adjust. There we go. And same with this line, I'm just going to adjust it ever so slightly. Beautiful. So we have our phone. I'll erase this part. We have our phone. We have our hand. We got the face. Socks. And we are done. Back here, you can barely see the pant cuff, but my drawing is a little bit different. I have more space between my 2 feet. So I will add this pant cuff. You can also make this pant leg a little bit more baggy, like so that it meets. And adjust this line so it looks proportionate. Here, I'm gonna bring out my pant leg like so that the legs are similar in width. This knee is not coming out as much as this one, so I would want to adjust that just a tad. So that they look similar. That looks better. My sock, this sock, very clean. Some of these characters have such long feet. So our line comes down to the toes. We got that one detail in the heel, and where the toes are. And then this sock comes out longer, comes down to the toes, but it hangs over. So first I'll just draw the bottom of the foot, like so. Clean that up. And now bring it down to our sock. So then this part's right there. So that's the toe, the heel, the toe, the cuffs, and the neck. Can't forget that. That is looking great. Get rid of that reference. Here's Ennui, our sketch. Color that in, whether with pencil crayons or markers, or if you're using Procreate, in the next video, we will learn how we can illustrate it. And because Ennui, we will create many, many layers to add in the shading, the highlights of the sweater and all these different parts, so that you can see the dimension of the sweater. Coming up in the next video. Thanks so much for joining me. Can't wait for the next video. Keep creating, keep learning, and I'll see you soon.